what do you think in the prevailing situation? What are the alternate options available to get this oil and gas supply restored?
So, if you think about how the war has progressed over the 7 days and
Mm,
how consequently the oil price has progressed,
exactly.
you will be quite clear as to what has actually transpired. Brent was at about $70 when the conflict had not begun. And today,
Mm,
when we are discussing this, Brent's around $90. That's a 28% jump only in the price of Brent that we
mm,
are seeing. Secondly, the insurance coverage of whatever is being transported, and thirdly, the price of transportation itself, I think, is probably
gone very
adding
high.
10.
Exactly.
So these are three, impacts in terms of the pricing. And then, of course, the curtailment of the quantity that is flowing through Straits of Hormuz is
Mm,
about 25% of the world's oil. And 20% of people keep forgetting is the LNG, which is also equally important for not only the economies of the Middle East, but the economies of the East Asia, India, Pakistan, so on
exactly.
and so forth. And especially, never to forget that China gets a lot of oil from the Strait of Hormuz. So
Mm,
this is overall scenario as to what has happened. The oil supply shock, the exogenous shock to all these economies means heightened inflation. So that has ramifications on the pocket every day. In these countries, the oil price changes on a daily basis.
daily
So
basis.
it's like the revision is so quick. So the impact on the pockets of the consumer, on the
Mm,
transportation, on overall the economy is pretty quick, and it's passed on pretty quickly. So the inflationary impact then cascades into the daily lives of the people, and that of course impacts the global economic growth forecast that we do. Let's say it was 3.2% forecast for the global growth, so I'm sure something will get shaved off. In US, for example, when the year had become, the recession fears were around 30%, and they had actually tapered off as inflation tapered off. Fed started cutting rates. But I was
mm,
just talking to one of the chief economists of one of the big banks, and in their forecast, they are now reviewing that drop from 30% recessionary forecast to a
mm.
slightly higher probability.